So, are we starting Sapna now?
Namaste. Yes, Divya ji will start.
On August 15th? But I think we met on September, I think, right? During Swamiji's Aradhana. It was an evening time. So, very nice occasion. So, please get started, Sapna ji and Divya.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Pujya, can we start with the prayers?
Yes.
It's all up to you. It's all up to you.
So we will start with the prayer first, then Divya will sing. Om Satashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. So we welcome you to this very auspicious day of our Bharata Desha's Independence Day and our Guruji, Swamiji, Pujya Swamiji's birthday. We are blessed to have him, and we are so much punyam we have done. We are, under his path, and he has left a vast Guru Parampara. So, to celebrate his birthday and Independence Day of this great nation, we will pray for peace prevails, harmony comes, and this nation should be a Vishwa Guru, as Swamiji always wanted. So to start with, Divya will sing Swamiji's own composition and bhArata, desha, hitAya. One should, how it is composed for aim for seva, and it applies for every day. In fact, everyone should contribute towards the nation. And Swamiji composed it and he sang. We tried to get his recording, but we couldn't. So Divya is beautifully going to render this. So Divya, please.
Desha hitaya bharatadi mahamati sevita Bharata desha hitaya bharatadi mahamati sevita Bharata desha hitaya Aase tu Himachala Vanagirijana Samrakshanaya Aase tu Himachala Vanagirijana Samrakshanaya Guru Sevam Tvam Guru Sevam Guru Sevam Tvam Guru Sevam Ayurarogya Vivardhanaya Dharma Samstapanaya Ayurarogya Vivardhanaya Dharma Samstapanaya Shobhanivaranaya Suviksha Pariprapanaya Dina Jana Uddharanaya Kuru Sevam Tvam Kuru Sevam Kuru Sevam Tvam Kuru Sevam Bharata desha hitAya bhArata mahamati sevita bharata desha hitAya Guru Sevam Tvam Guru Sevam Guru Sevam Tvam Guru Sevam Guru Sevam Tvam Guru Sevam.
Thank you, Divya. It was wonderful. And Swamiji, Kuru Seva Tvam. At every moment we have to remember this towards one's own progress and to protect Panchamaha Yagya. He said in one word, all this, living beings, protecting the vana animals, so many things he said. And he has explained in one of the things I couldn't program it otherwise, how he explains when he composed this song, how it is related to. Okay. So it is so relevant in today's context, and we should pray wholeheartedly. We should sing this song daily for the country's sake, for one's own sake. With this prayer, now next we invite Meera. Meera.
Recording is restarted.
Yes.
Recording is going on.
Namaskarams at the holy feet of Pujya Swamiji. Namaskarams to Guruji and all the Sahapatis. Today I'm going to narrate a story on Obava. She was a freedom fighter. Obava hailed from Chitradurga. Chitradurga is a district in Karnataka. And Chitradurga fort at one point of time was ruled by Madakari Nayaka. Madakari Nayaka took all measures to keep Hyder's army at bay. Hyder's army from 1754 to 1779 constantly, with multiple attempts, invaded Madakari Nayaka's fort, and they returned unsuccessful because Madakari Nayaka was too strong for them. So Muddu Hanuma was guarding their Gopuram. The fort was very strong, and it's there even today. And Muddu Hanuma one afternoon goes home to have lunch. His wife Obava, she saw that there was no water in the house, so she picks up a pot to fetch water from the nearby pond. She happens to see that the fort had a breach, and she saw a few Hyder's soldiers entering the fort. Without wasting a second, she ran to her home and picked up a pestle. Pestle is used to pound rice. And she gets that and stands at the door, at the entrance of the breach, on the other side of the breach. So when soldiers tried to enter the fort, she gave a blow on their head as they crawled through the breach. And she piled up a big, close to 100 soldiers and above with her valorous action. Hanuma, who was waiting for his wife, got a little worried. He walked towards the fort and he was stunned to see the Durgavataram of his wife. She had by then killed quite a number of soldiers. He immediately informed the soldiers of Madakari Nayaka, and they all surrounded the fort and they were able to protect the fort and the kingdom from Hyder's army. In the meantime, Obava was killed by one of Hyder's soldiers. So Obava takes a very special place in the hearts of every Kannadiga. In 2021, Government of Karnataka declared November 11th as Obava Jayanti. She fought bravely and selflessly to protect her countrymen and her kingdom. Many such queens, many such women have laid their lives, like Jhansi Rani Lakshmibai, Kittur Rani Chennamma, Ahilya Bai, and many of them. They have taken the roles of that Durga to protect our kingdom, our land from all invasions. There was a time when Jhansi Rani fought both the Mughal and the British. We gather a lot of strength by listening to these stories. Now, on the contrary, when we see that the true meaning of freedom in today's scenario, we have all somewhere taken the wrong route. Many women and men here, especially in the place where I live, they have stretched all boundaries of deriving pleasures from instincts and crossed the boundaries towards indulgence. We see a common sight in Bangalore is seeing, and most of the cities, which was very uncommon till 5 years ago, is women taking up to addictions, smoking, alcohol, abusing physically and mentally, and indulging in too many activities in the name of freedom. So today, it's the right time for us to think, to sit back and introspect. Is this the freedom which we all aimed for? Is this the justice we can give to all those great freedom fighters who relentlessly fought for our country? So on this day, with the blessings of Pujya Swamiji and our Guru Parampara, it is time for all of us to wake up to this reality, work on oneself and free ourselves from mental slavery. Slavery into indulgence is the biggest hurdle to freedom. So let's pray and take the blessings and derive strength from our parampara to help us to move forward and face this situation where our children are becoming, culprits to this kind of slavery. And there is a beautiful song which has been depicted in one of the movies, Kannada movies, Nagarahavu. It was penned, I think, by Uday Shankar, and the song is by P.B. Srinivas, a very beautiful song. We would like to play that for you. This is Obava's story. And she's called Onake Obava because she picked up the pestle to kill all the soldiers. So thank you so much. Jai Hind, and seek the blessings of our Gurus. Thank you, and a very happy Independence Day to all of you.
ಒನಕೆ ಓಬವ್ವನ ಕಿಂಡಿ.
Is it audible sound?
Yeah, sound is audible, but there is a gray band in the middle.
Video issue.
ಕನ್ನಡ ನಾಡಿನ ವೀರರಮಣಿಯ ಗಂಡು ಭೂಮಿಯ ವೀರನಾರಿಯ ಚರಿತೆಯ ನಾನು ಹಾಡುವೆ. ಕನ್ನಡ ನಾಡಿನ ವೀರರಮಣಿಯ ಗಂಡು ಭೂಮಿಯ ವೀರನಾರಿಯ ಚರಿತೆಯ ನಾನು ಹಾಡುವೆ. ಚಿತ್ರದುರ್ಗದ ಕಲ್ಲಿನ ಕೋಟೆ, ಸಿಡಿಲಿಗು ಬೆಚ್ಚದ ಉಕ್ಕಿನ ಕೋಟೆ. ಚಿತ್ರದುರ್ಗದ ಕಲ್ಲಿನ ಕೋಟೆ, ಸಿಡಿಲಿಗು ಬೆಚ್ಚದ ಉಕ್ಕಿನ ಕೋಟೆ. ಮದಿಸಿದ ಕರಿಯ ಮದವಡಗಿಸಿದ ಮದಕರಿ ನಾಯಕರಾಳಿದ ಕೋಟೆ. ಪುಣ್ಯ ಭೂಮಿಯು ಈ ಬೀಡು, ಸಿದ್ಧದು ಹರಸಿದ ಸಿರಿನಾಡು. ಕನ್ನಡ ನಾಡಿನ ವೀರರಮಣಿಯ ಗಂಡು ಭೂಮಿಯ ವೀರನಾರಿಯ ಚರಿತೆಯ ನಾನು ಹಾಡುವೆ. ವೀರ ಮದಕರಿ ಆಳುತ್ತಲಿರಲು, ಹೈದರಾಲಿಯು ಯುದ್ಧಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲು, ಕೋಟೆ ಜನಗಳ ರಕ್ಷಿಸುತ್ತಿರಲು, ಸತತ ದಾಳಿಯು ವ್ಯರ್ಥವಾಗಲು, ವೈರಿ ಚಿಂತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬಸವಳಿದ ದಾರಿಗಾಣದೆ ಮುಂತಾದ. ಕನ್ನಡ ನಾಡಿನ ವೀರರಮಣಿಯ ಗಂಡು ಭೂಮಿಯ ವೀರನಾರಿಯ ಚರಿತೆಯ ನಾನು ಹಾಡುವೆ. ಗೂಢಚಾರರು ಅಲೆದು ಬಂದರು, ಹೈದರಾಲಿಗೆ ವಿಷಯ ತಂದರು. ಚಿತ್ರದುರ್ಗದ ಕೋಟೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಯುವ್ಯ ದಿಕ್ಕಿನೆಡೆ ನೋಡು ಎಂದರು. ಕಳ್ಳಗಂಡಿಯ ತೋರಿದರು, ಲಗ್ಗೆ ಹತ್ತಲು ಹೇಳಿದರು. ಕನ್ನಡ ನಾಡಿನ ವೀರರಮಣಿಯ ಗಂಡು ಭೂಮಿಯ ವೀರನಾರಿಯ ಚರಿತೆಯ ನಾನು ಹಾಡುವೆ. ಹಾಡಿದಳು, ವೀರಗಚ್ಚೆಯ ಹಾಕಿ ನಿಂದಳು, ದುರ್ಗೆಯನ್ನು ಮನದಲ್ಲಿ ನೆನೆದಳು, ಕಾಳಿಯಂತೆ ಬಲಿಗಾಗಿ ಕಾದಳು. ಯಾರವಳು ಯಾರವಳು, ವೀರವನಿತೆ ಆವೋ ಬವ್ವ, ದುರ್ಗವು ಮರೆಯದ ಓಬವ್ವ. ಕನ್ನಡ ನಾಡಿನ ವೀರರಮಣಿಯ, ಗಂಡು ಭೂಮಿಯ ವೀರನಾರಿಯ ಚರಿತೆಯ ನಾನು ಹಾಡುವೆ. ತೆವಳುತ ಒಳಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತಿದೆ ವೈರಿ, ಒನಕೆಯ ಬೀಸಿ ಕೊಂದಳು ನಾರಿ, ಸತ್ತವನನ್ನು ಎಳೆದು ಹಾಕುತ್ತಾ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಿಂತಳು ಹಲ್ಲು ಮಸೆಯುತ್ತಾ. ವೈರಿ ರುಂಡ ಚೆಂಡಾಡಿದಳು, ರಕ್ತದ ಕೋಡಿ ಹರಿಸಿದಳು. ಕನ್ನಡ ನಾಡಿನ ವೀರರಮಣಿಯ, ಗಂಡು ಭೂಮಿಯ ವೀರನಾರಿಯ ಚರಿತೆಯ ನಾನು ಹಾಡುವೆ. ಹುಡುಕುತ ಕಾವಲಿನವನು ಗುಪ್ತದ್ವಾರದ ಬಳಿಗೆ ಬಂದನು, ಮಾತು ಹೊರಡದೆ ಬೆಚ್ಚು ನಿಂತನು, ಹೆಣದ ರಾಶಿಯ ಬಳಿಯ ಕಂದನು, ರಣಚಂಡಿ ಅವತಾರವನು, ಕೋಟೆ ಸಲಹಿದ ತಾಯಿಯನು.
ಹೈದರಾಲಿಯ ಸೈನ್ಯ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೋಟೆಯನ್ನು ಮುತ್ತಿದೆ, ಹೋಗಿ ರಣಗಾಳೆಯನ್ನು ಊದಿ.
ಕಹಳೆಯನ್ನು ಊದುತ್ತಲಿರಲು, ಸಾಗರದಂತೆ ಸೈನ್ಯ ನುಗ್ಗಲು, ವೈರಿ ಪಡೆಯು ನಿಶ್ಶೇಷವಾಗಲು, ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿ ಜಯವನ್ನು ತರಲು ಅಮರಳಾದಳು ಓಬವ್ವ. ಚಿತ್ರದುರ್ಗದ ಓಬವ್ವ.
Thank you, Meera.
Wife of a guard of a watchtower in Chitradurga. She is known for her bravery and considered the epitome of a.
That was a great show to show even a lady how she can work towards the country's freedom. So actually, for country's freedom, so many people have sacrificed their lives. And though we couldn't understand because of Kannada, the visuals clearly showed us the bravery of that lady. And everybody, so many people have sacrificed for this great nation's freedom. Now, in that sense, Swamiji also left behind him a vast, what should I say, knowledge to free each one from the worldly entanglement, liberation, a true liberation. So in that sense, it was great. A boy born in Manjakudi to a simple parents, he became a scholar in Veda and he became a guru in Vedanta. And under his guidance, so many people were trained. He left a vast legacy of knowledge to be followed by all of us. And here we have gurus like Jayakumarji, who lives truly each word what Swamiji and the Shastra says in the scriptures. We are so lucky. And before that, I think Vaidya is going to render the DayAnanda Panchakam, which is a great dedication from all of us to Swamiji. How can we repay? We cannot repay. Only we have to live and spread his wisdom to as many people as we can. So, Vaidyaji.
Thank you, Rukminiji. Namaste, Rukminiji. Namaste, Jayakumarji. Namaste, all my sahpartis. Srimad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Acharya Varya Shri Dayananda Sadgurubhyo Namaha. This is I think a composition of Swami Paramarthananda ji about Pujya Swamiji. Sada Smeravakram Kripa Purna Netram Siram Dhina Mitram Janapriti Patram Suvijnada Shastram Kashayakta Vastram Dayananda Rupam Madacharya Mide Parabrahmanishtam Swadho Dharmanishtam Ahimsaikanishtam Swasishyai Sujushtam Yatinam Varishtam Gurunam Garishtam Dayananda Rupam Madhacharya Mide Shusastre Charantam Sada Sancharantam Janan Bodhayantam Bhavad Uddharantam Matham Stapayantam Gurun Pujayantam Dayananda Rupam Madhacharya Mide Kalanam Pracharam Dadanam Vinamram Swayam Grantakaram Satam Manitaram Namattapaharam Swayam Nirvikaram Dayananda Rupam Madhacharya Mide Sada Shanti Murtim Sada Kshanti Murtim Sada Dhanti Murtim Sada Satya Murtim Pramana Pravrittim Dishantam Sukirtim Dayananda Rupam Madhacharya Mide Idam Panchakam Vyapatet Shuddha Chittaha Sadha Moksha Marge Nitantam Pravrittaha Prasada Shastur Bhavet Jnana Yuktaha Sajivanamrito va Bhavan Nityamuktaha. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.
Thank you, Vaidyaji. So, this is, we can contribute to express our gratitude. And Swamiji Paramarthanandaji has composed it very nicely. And this is how we can express our gratitude towards Swamiji. Now, here I would like to invite Jayakumarji, who is living example of Pujya Swamiji's writings and preachings. And we are never tired of listening to him, not only in the class, even outside. So, Jayakumarji, please.
Am I audible? Yeah. So today we all remember as Svatantra Divas or Independence Day, Indian Independence Day, and very coincidentally, very nicely, it's also Pujya Swamiji's English birthday, and so we have the opportunity to remember both the people who have given up their lives for this country, like Obama, and also people who have given up their lives for something else, which is what this country stood for forever, for as long as we knew it. I used to wonder, they say India got freedom. Then was India never free at all? That means we were never free, right? The entire history of India, we were never free for thousands and thousands of years ago, right? And then we suddenly became free in 1947, correct? I used to wonder. Then I used to wonder, what about before the British came? Did we not exist or what? And so the irony is, I never learned anything about the India that was before the British. Why should the British come? Why should the Mughals come here? Did anybody colonize Sahara Desert? Nobody colonized Sahara Desert. Nobody colonized Saudi Arabia. Why? Because kya hai wahan par? And so clearly there was something here in this particular land which attracted so many people. So what is it that attracted us? I mean, attracted so many others. I used to think like only now. I mean, in fact, only when I started listening to Vedanta from Pujya Swamiji in 96 onwards, I came to know that, my God, India has a history. And that's why I started digging into it more and more. Till then, I didn't know. See, August 15th, we are supposed to celebrate Independence Day, correct? But you know the irony of it? August 15th, 1947, if you take a poll and ask people, how was that day? That day must have been a celebration. But it was, you know what? It was celebration on one side, but it was a trauma on the other side. 14th and 15th, mass migrations. Can you imagine families running for their lives? Migration, at least you might say, okay. But as is always the case, Hindus are the victims in all these situations. Whenever there is the two people come crisscross each other, you know what happens. I'm still wondering why Hindus are victims in all these situations. And some accounts say millions of Hindus died during the partition and post-partition. Some people say 500,000. Some people say millions. So what about that? Suppose one of us were descendants of our parents were our parents were part of the partition, not sitting somewhere south watching the partition. Then how will we feel? Will we be celebrating the Independence Day today the way others are celebrating? I don't think so. I don't think so. Because there's still a lot of trauma from that period. Hindus coming from Pakistan to India, Muslims leaving, Hindus getting, you hear those stories. And what's irony is that I never was taught all these things. I was taught about Independence Day, all right. And we used to raise the flag, but never came along the dark side of August 15th. Never, I never heard about it. Unlike the Israel, the Jews, they hear all about the millions of Jews that were massacred, just burnt alive, gassed alive. Correct? Every history book, the Israeli history book has, and even American history books has the stories of Hitler and Nazis and how they persecuted Jews. And they have accounted for every Jew. I'm telling you, they've done all the research. Who were all there? They tracked everybody down, almost everybody. And that's how the Jews have come together to protect their self-identity and keep their history from getting erased. And so, today we do remember Swamiji, and he was the one who opened my eyes to this history, the forgotten history of India. At least for me, that's how it was. I never knew any of these things. Then one thing led to another. And of course, I was studying Vedanta under Swamiji, and I was so happy because he was confused and I had a lot of questions. And so he had been to many places. And then finally, the answer came like a lightning. And so along the way, being Independence Day, I'm highlighting more about our country. We'll get another chance to talk about Swamiji also. Aradhana is coming up next month, September. So his September 23, I think, when he gained Mahasamadhi. So that time we'll meet and share some of why we are actually remembering Swamiji. But today I want to just remind ourselves for this day that it's known for, August 15th. And so mixed feelings. As a kid, I used to wonder, Bhagat Singh, I think, shot some British policeman called Sanders, and then he also threw a bomb in this parliament. Then he was hanged. He was hanged, and I used to wonder, hey, who are these people coming to India and hanging our people? Shouldn't it be the other way around? Should we kick them out? And so they're like this. As a child, I used to have all these ideas, and we never heard much about them also. Veer Savarkar and all, the way they gave up their lives, I never heard about Veer Savarkar until, you won't believe it, I may have heard his name, that's about it. Until in Houston, a movie was released. The family of Veer Savarkar sold all their jewelry and all their personal wealth to create a documentary movie about Veer Savarkar, which I purchased. And then I saw, by myself, I saw that documentary. It's a movie actually. And I was filled with mixture of emotions. I was just moved to no end at that time. I was asking myself, how come I didn't know all these things? So like this, the story we heard, Meera narrating the story of Obaba. I think that's a way to pronounce it. I don't know. Obaba. Yeah. Oneke Obaba. So like this, there are so many stories. And in Tamil Nadu, like this, from all the way from here to Kashmir, we have stories. V.O. Chidambaram Pillai. When I first heard, I never heard because I studied in Hyderabad. And here I come, I hear more and more stories. V.O. Chidambaram Pillai, he's called. He said, that we are paying so much for all the trade that we are doing with other countries, including Sri Lanka. And the ship, he said, instead of paying the British to do all the cargo, I'm going to build my own ships. That's it. He constructed his own steam company, Indian something, navigation steam company or something. I don't forget the name. And he's called Chidambaram Pillai. And he's called Kappal Otiya Tamilan. In Tamil, they call it. That is the Tamil guy who rowed ships. That is his literal meaning. And you study his history. He was very much in the freedom movement. And it is so sad to see that you find out how was his last days. The last days, he was so poor. The British arrested him. They just squeezed the last drop of energy from him. He was in a, what do you call this, a prison where they make you work. It's called maximum, I forget what it is. It's like Kalapani. Like Kalapani, where Veer Savarkar was there in Andaman. Like that, V.O. Chidambaram Pillai, he had to press oil. That kind of labor, hard labor he had to do. And he was released after some time. And he died in utter poverty. utter poverty. He was selling snacks in Madras. That is what I heard. That's how he passed away. Nobody knew who he was. So it's a big irony, and now we've got this Hindus getting killed in Bangladesh, as though we don't have enough in our history. This is constantly happening, and we are asking ourselves, why? What can India do? What can Hindus do? Every religious denomination is taking care of themselves. Okay, and ironically, the Hindu denomination is the only constituency that has nobody to take care of itself. Nobody really. And so that's why Hindus in America, they are taking care of themselves. I mean, fortunately, the country is a truly democratic country. And so, religions cannot be persecuted. But very ironically, in India itself, we've got problems, so many problems. And Hindus targeted in the other religion dominated areas, and it's constantly happening in India. We don't see in the news. Do you know why we don't see it in the news? Because the mob is there. The mob is there. The mob will burn the newspaper that publishes the article. That's it. That's what will happen. Everybody is afraid of the mob. Everybody is afraid of the mob. And we recently somebody sent one Muslim was talking about how this Muslims operate. I mean, I think we are even scared of mentioning the M word. That's how it has become. How long can this continue? We are scared of mentioning it, so that somebody may. What will happen? Because the mob is waiting, and this guy says, this Muslim says, hey, if a Indian gets slapped on the street by a Muslim, look at this. He says it very clearly. And then what happens? The Indian will go to the police station and say, this is what happened. The police will say, hey, it's a problem between two individuals. Why are you calling us? You go sort it out yourself. If it were other way around, if a Hindu were to punch the other man for some reason, legitimate reason, the Muslim will go to the dargah, masjid, closest masjid, and will report it. And that masjid will immediately send a message to Jama Masjid of Delhi. Okay? And that masjid knows exactly all the masjids there in all over India. And so in this particular place, wherever it is that happened, all the people, all the masjids, they get a message that this has happened. You guys should congregate at this place. And today everything, all geo, everything is there. Location is there. And so immediately thousands will come, finish off the job, and then move on. And the police are helpless. Even the police who want to help cannot help, because you can't. That kind of a mob, even the army cannot create in such a short time. Not possible. This is what is happening. This is why the whole world is afraid. Whole world is afraid. They don't know what to do. And so, who's going to protect the people who need protection? So we're watching all these happenings in Bangladesh. Our own student, our 9G, is from Bangladesh. He went into hiding, and only because that community is somewhat of there are some Muslims in the community, and they have their gated community and all. He survived. Really, I'm telling you, these are the facts. And nobody knows how to deal with these situations. That's how it is. That's why I think India has to learn from Israel. India has to learn from Israel. India offered help to Israel. And Israel said, we don't need any help from you. We know how to take care of ourselves. But we need some material. Material help we'll take, but we don't need any other type of help. That's what they said. I mean, that's the kind of help that's what we need to become. And so if you look at the overall Akhand Bharat, Akhand Bharat, Afghanistan was there, Gandhara Desha. Gandhari is born from that Desha. Kandahar, they say today, but what Kandahar? It is Gandhara Desha. And so she's a daughter of Gandhara Desha. And so there was the Bharata was extending to Afghanistan, maybe even beyond. And Afghanistan separated.
Even
If
Iran, Guruji.
Iran was there. Iran and then Afghanistan. Iran was there. Who's to talk about Iran? And then of course, you've got Pakistan, you've got, now before that, 1906, 1907, Tibet and Bhutan separated. During the British time, look at what all they did. I used to ask, why we did not do anything? How could we allow these things to happen? And then, of course, then Pakistan, then Bangladesh, Burma. These are all belonging to Akhand Bharat. And if you say like this, immediately what we will get criticized by? Hey, there was no India before who are you to say Afghanistan separated from Akhand Bharat? There was no Bharat. This is how people talk. So you're wrong. You're saying you're spreading lies, falsehood. So we need somebody who thinks very, very differently and takes charge. That's what India needs. Otherwise, Hindus are going to be second and third class citizens all over the world. And we need to speak up. And look at the Hindu population. I actually did some homework a couple of days ago. And Afghanistan, there were a billion Hindus, it seems, since they started tracking. And in 2020, there are 50 Hindus, it seems. Please tell me, why should the population of Hindus reduce? Is there population is only increasing, correct? Is it that Hindus do not know how to have children? Is that what happened or what? No. A rapid reduction, 1980 to 2020. This is what happened. Then look at Sri Lanka, I forgot to mention. 22% in 1930 were Hindus, okay? 2012, 12%. Okay, even though we think Sri Lanka is a friendly country, okay? How did it get separated in the first place? Sri Lanka has a huge history, long, beautiful, worshipful history they have. Burma, 1948, they separated, they got independence. 2020 statistics, 1.7% Hindus. Please tell me, how is it acceptable? Okay, Pakistan, 15% Hindus in 1930, 15%. 2020, 1%, plus or minus 1%. Why? Why should a population reduce in a country? Bangladesh, 1930, 28% Hindus. Almost a third of Bangladesh was Hindus. Okay. 2010 data is all I have, 9%. Bangladesh was the only country, our neighbor, where there is a predominance of Hindus, for all you want to call it. Okay. 2024, July, August, Bangladesh. It's going to be less than that percent, correct? Because that's what is happening there. So, we need leadership, and we are getting that leadership. We're a big step change from 2013 to 2014 when we had the Narendra Modi ji as the Prime Minister. Nobody imagined that he would be at the helm of affairs. And so he has done a lot to this country. And now Hindus are expecting a lot more. because we've been at the receiving end for so many years. And so the demands are increasing, and we are also in the receiving end from other areas also. If you think you can raise your voice on social media, then social media has its own way of suppressing Hindu voices. Just day before yesterday, I got a message posted by Dushyant Sridhar. Dushyant Sridhar is a very, 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 very popular among the Vaishnavites, and he gives pravachans on TV and all that. He is a big sensation. But he does talk about he's a nationalistic person, and he talks whenever he get a chance, he put it on social media. He put a tweet saying that Bangladesh Hindus are getting murdered. Put a tweet about an article and stuff. The YouTube, I think, not tweet, YouTube blocked his video. This is how the media or social media out there, we talk about Google and this and that. No Google will allow Hindu voices on their channels. No Zuckerberg will allow Hindu voices on their channel. The systems have come up in such a way that now Hindus can't even present themselves. Really, it's like that. You go look it up. There is a guy called Praveen Mohan. I don't know how many of you have heard of Praveen Mohan. Yeah, many of you know Praveen Mohan. Google him up. He's a blessed guy. He's a gifted man. He can enter a temple and he can look at the temple and he can tell you the history of the temple going back hundreds and thousands of years. And he can look into the thing and he can look at all this Parvati dressed in a particular way, and he will tell you why she's wearing that particular this band on her waist. He will tell you a history. He'll look at a cave going from under the temple, and he'll tell you the history of that land, of that geography. And his videos are getting blocked. It's absolutely something. It's a fact that all of us need to know. All of us know it. And so we have to develop our own ecosystem. The time has come, I think, that Hindus and India have to develop our own Hindus. Or India, Hindus have to develop our own ecosystem, our own systems to present ourselves, our own systems to communicate. Because every other system is being controlled by somebody else. And if a Christian speaks about a Hindu, then it's a human rights issue. If a Hindu speaks about a Christian or a Muslim, then it is a fundamentalism. Then it is falsehood. Then it is fake. Hindus are making a big hue and cry about nothing. This is what it is. You get branded like this. So it's very, very sad. And so I personally think the land may be independent. The land called India may be independent. But Hindus are still dependent. We have to become independent. Okay, really, I think so. The more I think about it, I'm coming to that conclusion. We are free to do what we want, but we are not free to protect ourselves. We are not free even to talk about the protection of ourselves. We are not free. And we have some voices out there, thankfully. Very good voices are there. Even Republic Channel, a loud channel, but he is one of the few voices. Arnab Goswami is one of the few media voices that's raising his pitch. And Bangladeshi Hindus, he's the one. He's the one who's talking about intervention by other countries. What freedom do we have? We don't have any freedom. It takes one or two people who can talk about American intervention into Bangladesh and destabilizing Bangladesh. And when you destabilize all these countries around India, then India is destabilized. Because India doesn't know how to deal with all this. One surgical strike, we have to justify. We have to go all over the world and justify one surgical strike. So I think this day is very important for us to remember. Not just remember, in fact, just our future thinking itself, we have to shift our attention. We have to focus. Pujya Swamiji would say, he was the first Swami I heard saying, Hindu vote is sacred. How many of you remember that statement of Pujya Swami? He knew that The reason India is like this is because Hindus are ignorant about their own country and about themselves. And so he used to say, Hindu vote is sacred. Indirectly, and he issued a declaration. Tirupati Declaration. How many of you remember the Tirupati Declaration? Yeah, one of you. You know, there was a time when it all came out that this Tirupati is a Hindu temple, and it's now employees are all Christians, many of them, and they are they are giving away the land to construct churches, and it became a big hue and cry. And Swamiji actually visited Tirupati, and he issued a declaration. You won't believe it. You won't believe it. And the declaration states that it's not just about Tirupati. Since it was done in Tirupati, it's called the Tirupati Declaration. Hindus shall not vote for any people or party that is inimical to Hindu interests. These kinds of statements were there. Tell me which sannyasi can do something like this in our memory, recent memory, today's century. Okay, Vivekananda said it. Vivekananda said it. He said, one Hindu lost is one enemy gained. That's the word he used. If a Hindu is converted, we got one more enemy. That's what he said, because that's how it is. He said it exactly as it should be said. And so I think we have a long way to go, but we are going forward, and we are pushing forward. There's a lot of opposition to that, but we are making progress, and we're praying. Today, my prayer is that may Bharat Mata and Pujya Swamiji, who's given us so much inspiration, help all Hindus to reverse the tide of the Hindu existential crisis. Okay, that's my prayer today on this Independence Day, August 15th. And we pray to Bharat Mata, Devi, just like our Obava Devi, how they portrayed her Durga. We need that kind of the outlook, and the jnanam that we are learning from Swamiji's teachings, of course, will give us that, because knowledge liberates. So we must be free to talk about anything fearlessly, both Laukika, Apara as well as Para. And so that's my prayer for today. And thanks to all of you for organizing this program. And I don't think we have done this kind of a program before, if I recall. And so it gave us a good chance to recall India as a country, and also Pujya Swamiji a little bit. And we'll continue. Swamiji's, there's a lot to talk about Swamiji. We'll do that on a different day. In September, we're going to have his Aradhana. So that time we'll dedicate to do that. But back to you, Rukmini and Swapna and others, and so that all of you who have time can feel free to share your thoughts also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jayakumarji. We share your concern about the Hindus' safety and how to protect ourselves from this senseless human, atrocities. I remember myself and Gopalji, Jayakumarji took us to a movie, Hyderabad Genocide. Terrible it was. That movie was not screened all over India. And how the Britishers high-handedly, they were involved in making that Hyderabad, Andhra Pradesh, to get connected with Pakistan, and how people were working. And Jayakumar's, is like a freedom fighter. He works in both angles. One is in Vedanta side, he frees us from, he is showing the way for us to liberate ourselves from the bandhan, from the entanglement of worldly things. The other side, I appreciate his concern for this country and for Hindutva, for Hindus. It's great. And that was what truly Swamiji was also. As rightly, sannyasis are never concerned about the worldly things, what goes, But he was truly Indian and Hindutva, and he is a Bharatiya. His concern is reflected in each word of what Jaikmaji was talking. We should pray as Vedantins, our collective prayers and Swamiji's, Pujya Swamiji's guidance will help us to spread about this awareness. Right now, this moment needs awareness. The Hindu population is reducing vastly. We should educate our children. We should spread this message and not quietly withstanding all the atrocities of the other side. That is in Bhagavad Gita, first chapter, Arjuna laments. He gives a lecture about dharma to Bhagavan, Samanya dharma, Vishesha dharma. So Krishna felt that this guy is going to run away from the battlefield. Second chapter, he started with a bag. He teaches about why one should stand as a Kshatriya, what is his dharma. Now, as a Hindus, what is our dharma? So to protect, and we should work in both ways, in spreading this Hindutva and how to protect ourselves. At least we don't violate. When somebody attacks, we should voice. We should stand up for our values. And second is, we should try to spread this to the younger generation and wherever we get an opportunity. So with that, thank you, Jayakumarji. As usual, your talk was very inspiring and very informative. And anybody we would like to have to sing bhajans or patriotic songs, we may have another 10-15 minutes. We can go up to 7:30. Anybody, please come forward if anybody wants to sing some bhajans or patriotic songs. Or anybody wants to share their opinion, their thoughts. Nobody? Anybody would like? Ramuji? Where is Ramuji? It's not to be seen.
Rukminiji, I will say a couple of words.
Yeah, please
about
go ahead,
Swamiji.
Vidyaji.
Yes. I was visiting the Gurukulam here in Pennsylvania, Swamiji's, Pujya Swamiji's Gurukulam in Pennsylvania, Saylorsburg, when the Tirupati declaration was issued. The entire declaration was posted on the bulletin board in the ashram. The sad part is none of the Indian newspapers carried it at that time. Even today, if you do a Google search of Tirupati declaration, nothing will come up, or at least I couldn't find anything in a cursory Google search. But what was happening at that time was Andhra Pradesh had this chief minister at that time called Jagan Mohan Reddy, who's Rajshekhar Reddy, Jagan Mohan Reddy's father, Rajshekhar Reddy, who was a Christian, converted Christian. I think his parents had converted, but he had a plan to usurp 5 of the 7 holy hills of Tirumala Tirupati. And as Jayakumarji was saying, he was churches. He was planning to build kind of amusement parks, hotels, all those kinds of things in those holy lands, by basically saying only 2 of the 7 hills really belong to Lord Venkateshwara. So that's when Pujya Swamiji assembled all the Mathadipatis of the different, Mathadipatis in the southern part of India, as well as some from the northern part, along with all the Swamijis of the Madhvacharya Sampradaya, the Ashta Mathadipatis from Udupi, and also other Vaishnava Acharyas as well, to issue this Tirupati declaration, saying that we sadhus who represent the Hindu society declare that all the 7 hills belong to Lord Venkateshwara eternally, and we will oppose any attempt to alienate these, from Lord Venkateshwara. As a result of that declaration, the Andhra Pradesh government was forced to issue a statement saying that they are withdrawing any plans of development in that area in this manner, giving to hotels and so on, leasing to hotels. So that is it's a landmark achievement, but it was never carried by any of the Indian newspapers, and you can still not find anything about it. We know because Jayakumarji knows, and we know because we were associated with Pujya Swamiji. Also, there was another thing I wanted to mention was Swamiji, in a famous speech in Kamarajar Arangam, I think in Chennai, Kamarajar Hall, he made a statement that religious conversion is violence. And that is, I think, a very powerful statement, because many Hindus, we, seem to be still in this wrong understanding that all religions are the same. So what if, somebody converts? It doesn't matter. That's what we think. But Pujya Swamiji explains in a very, using very nice language, very logical language, saying how conversion is really violence. Because once a person is converted, he gets alienated from his family or her family, or if the entire family converts, that family gets alienated from the society, from larger society. So it's a big cycle that starts by religious conversion. And to Swamiji's credit, Swamiji spoke about it very, very candidly, without any, Swamiji always called a spade a spade. Let's put it that way. He was always objective in his view of addressing topics of interest. And we have to give up this defeatist attitude, as Jayakumarji says. And it is not like you have just one tool in your book, which is non-violence. You have to use every tool in the book, samadhana, bheda, dhanda, when you have to defend yourself. I'm talking about when you're defending yourself. I pray that the Hindus of Bangladesh, are protected. I echo what Jayakumarji said. I invoke Pujya Swamiji's, blessings to protect our bhArata desham and Hindu dharma everywhere.
Thank you, Vaidya for that excellent share. And now I think we can conclude if anybody wants
I
to.
want to share something, Rukmani.
Prasadji, go ahead.
Being hailed from Andhra, I wanted to share which you are not exposed because you are from, obviously, people follow their own state affairs. So what Vaidyaji has talked about Rajshekhar Reddy, since then, the situation in Tirupati has become worsened. And there has been a lot of stealing from Tirupati. The most important thing is that many of the officials have been replaced with Christians. There has been a lot of debate outside, and that is a nonsense actually, in the sense of that they are not Christians, because they keep the name of some Reddy, right? Some Dharma Reddy. Today he was the chairman of TTD. in last 5 years when Jagan Mohan Reddy was chief minister. So compared to Rajshekar Reddy, Jagan Mohan Reddy's regime has worsened. It's beyond imagination what things have happened in Tirupati. And today, when government changed, they are actually concentrating more, and they replaced one by one. I mean, including the chairman, and they wanted to go into details of everything what has happened. So, because that is one of the main focus of the present government, because the last 5 years has been tyrannic, and the guy, Jagan Mohan Reddy, is a tyrant, and the way he has done that. And since we are talking about Tirupati, and the things what happened there. Now, despite my respect to the river Prime Minister, the administration have not done anything with respect to what has been happening in Andhra Pradesh, particularly with respect to Tirupati. Now, what RSS has done? Nothing. For the last 5 years, they not raised a single voice in Andhra Pradesh. So we may be saying a lot of praise what has happened in the past, but the fact and the ground reality is that these people are not doing anything when he was in power, when Rajshekar Reddy was in power, when Jagan. Again, this is what Jaykumarji has just said about the Muslim guy, what he was talking about happening between a Hindu and a Muslim. Exactly the same thing happening when they were in power, because nobody dared to open their mouth, whether it is RSS candidate or whether it's BJP officials or from the center. They have not done anything. They just thrown a blind eye to what's happening in Andhra Pradesh. So today, Tirupati has been a mess, and all those what you call thrones, the golden thrones, they have been given away to the people by Jagan Mohan Reddy regime. So they were all looted from the Swamiji's hundi. So that's all. So many things happened, and I wanted to bring to the fact that what BJP has not done, despite what they have done so much. But since we're talking about Tirupati, that's what happened so far. Just want to share with you.
Thank you, Prasad ji, for your thoughts and concern. We should pray that powerful Lord Venkateshwara to give Satbuddhi to everyone and to save. You know, people come from far away, they have such a faith, you know, and they come from all over the globe to put their earnings to pray and to fulfill these things in all forms. And only we can pray fervently to give Satbuddhi to all these concerned administrative people, and somebody should voice and bring this to their notice. And hope.
Chitra Nandakumar and Lakshmi Nagesh are waiting.
Okay, so please come forward, and we should pray to protect this Lord Venkateshwara's assets. Lakshmi.
Namaste. Happy Independence Day to everyone. And I mean, I'm also, what do I say? The college in which I'm the honorary secretary, the institution, we can say we are slightly above the government institutions, because our fee is very, very, very low. And, like Meeraji said, it's so pathetic and unfortunate that drugs have entered even our college. It is so very sad, and we are trying our best to control it. And all these children are from lower middle class society, and I can say they're the first time learners. And it is, they are, what do I say? It is Ek Din Ka Sultan. They just want to have fun for one day. We place them, and they don't want to take up the placements. And these children, I can say, BCom students, BCA, and data analytics. They're all the in thing which is happening, you know, finance and accounting and banking. We have all those courses. We try our level best to place them in good organizations like, you know, Capgemini and Infosys. All of them come to our institution, and without our knowledge, these children call them and they say, we are busy, we are studying further, all this rubbish is happening. You know, the youth in Bangalore is atrocious. You know, they just want to go and work for 8,000, 10,000. And here we get them placed between 3 to 5 lakhs a year. And in fact, you know, in houses like ours, we control our children. You know, we want to put them on the right track. You give them any speeches, it is like, you know, the dog's tail cannot be straightened. This is the scenario. And like Prasadji said, Andhra Pradesh is again pathetic. And, you know, BJP, maybe we have one leader who is clean. The others are still, you know, what do you say, filling their coffers. You know, regarding Andhra Pradesh, my classmate's husband is the governor of Andhra Pradesh, Shri Abdul Nazir ji, and he himself being a Muslim, when we met him last time in Bangalore, he had a lot of things to say. I think, you know, we all talk, but we are not united somewhere. You know, in an open statement, Sonde Swarnavalli Swamiji openly told Hindus, please have more children. You know, like Guruji, our Jayakumarji was saying, you know, DayAnanda Swamiji said so many things. Even today, this person talks like this and he says, Hindus, we want to have one child, or, you know, now 2 children itself is a big thing. He's openly propagating that the Hindu population should increase. And the irony nowadays is they don't want to have children because of the responsibilities, and they prefer having dogs which cannot talk back to them. I think somewhere, you know, we should go and talk to the youth and tell them the reality. And somewhere I feel, you know, we feel ashamed to even speak to our children like that. I'm seeing in our own college, it is so very sad. Just wanted to share my feelings. Thank you for the opportunity.
Very true, Lakshmiji. What you expressed is today's generation, that what they call generation gap. It has.
And one more thing I just wanted to tell you. We've had a few Muslims in and around Bangalore with Kudimi.
Yeah.
I met one person and I was in tears.
They are ready to go very far. They are ready to do anything.
And especially in Karnataka, our government is also not supporting.
Yeah. As you rightly expressed, maybe Modi ji is a great person. He is clear. He is totally Hindu and he works, but others should support what one man can do for this lost, vast country. You know?
I closely work with the BJP also.
Yeah.
People have double standard.
We should work
saddest
and
thing.
we should spread. As Lakshmiji correctly expressed, everybody expressed that Hindu population is diminishing. We should talk to people who can listen at least. Yes, Chitraji.
Yeah.
Please.
Sarvebhyo namaskaraha. I want to present some small song. Maitrim bhajata akila hrijetri. Maitrim bhajata akila hrijetri. Maitrim bhajata akila hrijetri. Atmavadeva paranapi pashyata. Atmavadeva paranapi pashyata. युद्धं त्यजत स्पर्धां त्यजत युद्धं त्यजत स्पर्धां त्यजत त्यजत परेषु अक्रममाक्रमणम् त्यजत परेषु अक्रममाक्रमणं मैत्रीं भजत अखिलहृजेत्रीं मैत्रीं भजत अखिलहृजेत्रीं जननी पृथिवी कामदुःखास्ते जननी पृथिवी कामदुःखास्ते जनको देवः सकलदयालुः जनको देवः सकलदयालुः दाम्यत दत्त दयत्वं जनाता दाम्यत दत्त दयत्वं जनाता श्रेयो भूयात् सकलजनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकलजनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकलजनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकलजनानां. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Because of this
Chitrani.
talk, continuous talk, I'm some sort of some feeling. That's the reason I couldn't sing these songs. I'm very sorry.
It's
Thank you so
very
much.
nice. It's very apt to conclude the session with this song. It's beautiful. Thank you, Chitraji. And now I would request Jaykumarji, Loka Samastas Kinomba. So to conclude with this for the humankind welfare prayer, Jaykumarji, please lead us with this concluding.
Yeah. So that song was composed by Sri Swami Chandrasekharendra Saraswati Swamigal, Kanchi Paramacharya. So, Maitri Bhajata. Maitri, friendship, may we inculcate and develop and build friendship. That's how. MS Subbulakshmi made it very popular by singing it in other forums, including US and things like that. There's a good conclusion. There, Swamiji picked up some words from Brihadaranyaku Upanishad. So, Damyata, Datta, Dayadvam, these three words are coming from Brihadaranyaku. We'll talk about it another occasion. Very nice. Okay. Thank you all very much. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः सज्जनाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्याय्येन मार्गेण महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ